Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to your post-lunch session. Right now, we'll be talking about the unit Undertake project work, BSBPMG430. The task name is monitoring and finalizing a project. So task 2 was starting and developing a project. Now it's and implementing is, and now it's monitor your project and finalize the project document and the project itself. There are 4 files, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, there are 4 files that you should submit. Okay, at least I would say. And if there are separate attachment file, then it is an addition to what you should be doing, right? Always have your student signature up here. That's fine. Everything is fine. Again, same company document can be accessed from here. With the ID and password given, that's standard, nothing new. Okay, so this assessment task can be completed in your workplace or in the simulated workplace SM company. This task requires you to implement, monitor, review the project plan in your assessment tool. So you're not doing a new project. It's the same project you started in assessment 2. So follow that in a sequence: assessment 2, then assessment 3. This task requires to prepare a status report at a chosen time. So what happens? So once you start a project, right? We should monitor it at some point, isn't it? How is the project going, right? So that's called a status report. What is that status report? This is a final report. This is a status report. As you can see, the file name as well. What you should do, you should change the percentage here, and as the previous task, the gray italic needs to be removed. That's for you to get some hint. Wherever is gray, you need to write something. Remove the gray scope, remove the gray, write something. So this is your progress status report. Okay, and then always have a project manager name and sign. Okay, not this one. Right. Provide support to team members through status reporting to enable them to achieve deliverable in transition them as appropriate to completion of the project. Finalize the project by reporting all the aspects and provide all the lesson learned as a result of undertaking and everything, because you don't want to wait for the project to finish to provide the status report. Also, you need to include the stakeholder. And finally, once everything is done, monitoring is complete, you will have the final report of project, and you will share the lesson that, really, working with procurementing was a good experience. Why? Because I come to know what procurementing, what is that thing that could have been done better, what you knew and you still couldn't control, all that kind of thing, the lesson learned part, right? Complete the following activity to finalize this assessment task. So we got 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, just 3. Okay, so let's look at 3.1, project status report. I have already highlighted everything in red, so it will help you to pick up the main point. Prepare a project status report that is, which is this one? I think it's this one. Yep, project status report. Somewhere between 10 to 80%. So you'll write here the project completed is like 70%, it's like 60%. Yeah. The status report should inform the stakeholder of the status of the project, deliverable and milestone, update them on a budget, work completed versus still to be undertaken, plus an update on a project risk. Complete a project status report. The report should include the percentage completed, the status, budget status, what been done, what is still to be undertaken, any risk. Simply complete this project status report, which is up here. All those things which you say it should be there, like budget and deliverable and completed, is a part of this template. You just need to complete that table. Okay. Again, let's look at this part. Project status summary. Percentage product complete, scope, schedule, cost, risk, and quality. Scope, you write here, what is deliverable, what you plan to achieve, plan date, actual date, and status. Then you got some milestone. We got some budget status, approved budget, planned expenditure, actual expenditure. Plan is what you plan for, and actual is what happened. Variance is planned minus actual. So say for example, approved budget is 50,000, just an example. Yeah. Planned expenditure was 40,000. Actual expenditure is 43,500. Planned minus actual. You plan for 40, you spend 43,500. That means you got some negative 3,500. I need the negative sign. It shows that you have spent more than what you should have. Planned remaining budget is what? You have already spent 43. So planned remaining is 10,000 because you had planned you will spend 40, right? But you had 50. Actual remaining is 6,500. Plan minus actual, right, is 3. Again, the negative 3,000. Plan is 3,500. Yeah. And do you need additional money? No, because I still have 6,500 remaining. Does anyone understand the number? I mean, simple. Plan means what you actually plan when project started. Actual, what has in present happened. You plan for 40, but you spend 43,500. So are you in surplus or shortfall? We are in shortfall because you spend a bit more than you plan, right? Remaining, you are planning for 40, that would have left 10,000 remain. Your actual is 43,500. This means 6,500 left. Variance, plan minus actual, 10,000 minus 6,500, 3,500. The total variance is 0. You don't need additional money. Why? Because you still have some surplus money, right? Just a number game. I mean, this is just an example. You don't have to follow this number. So anything up here, I will make them in gray and italic, the standard color, gray and italic. Please change those. Okay, because I'm going to send you this file. Okay. Work completed during last period, whatever has been done. Work planned for the next period. Any issues, and manager's name and signature. Date, that's it. Okay. Now, before I forget, I'll close this one. I think I should rename that file. Okay, because this is referring to assessment task 3.1. Right, 3.2. Meet with key stakeholder to inform project status. You are to organize a status meeting. That means a video recording. Hooray! Good job, guys. The video is not going to leave you. Video is not going to leave you. That's right. Explain the context of the status report prepared above assessment task to clarify answers in at least 2 relevant questions that key project stakeholders have. So whomsoever you are meeting, at least 2 people, one of them will ask one question, the other person will ask this other question. You need to respond those questions. That's fine. I mean, ignore this part. You can, like I said, do it with anyone you like. You can do it with work colleague present in a classroom, your actual work colleague, your family member, friends, anyone, enemy. It doesn't matter. Yeah, anyone who can support you. Okay, the meeting is to specifically inform the stakeholders of the following. So this is what should be a part of your role play. Let me change those fonts. yeah, which should be a part of your script. The percentage of the project completed, status project, ensuring at least one delivery milestone is either ahead or behind, explain why is this, provide a budget, plan versus action. I mean, this is what in real life is. What do you tell your stakeholders? Guys, we are running a project. It's great that we have completed this much, but there's only a bit that still needs to be done. We had 50,000. I was planning to spend 40. That would have left us 10,000. But unfortunately, the labor charge has increased because of inflation. People are charging more, blah, 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 blah. So I spent 43,500. So now I'm only left with 6,500. But still, rather than 10,000, I still have some money, so I don't need any additional money. So you're talking about the budget, right? What actual budget was, and highlight any key issues and everything, So this is what your script should be. And one request to everyone, please ensure you are talking to a human. Sorry to say that, but I've seen people reading from the script. That's not right. Like, have an interactive meeting, not just for the sake of role play, as if you were interacting in a real life. How would you interact? Will you just read from a piece of paper, like looking your eyes down? Is it reading a Bible or what? I mean, use a meeting. You are conveying something, You should have that emotion with it, right? So make sure to cover this point as a part of role play. The meeting should be videoed and must be run for 7 to 10 minutes. Clarify the requirement, what I'm assessing your leading status project, meaning clear language, appropriate eye contact. And that's why reading like this is not meeting the criteria. And trust me, if I ask you to redo a video, that's very painful. Very painful. Even on a first instance, it's difficult. If I ask you a second time, it will be extremely difficult. Okay. Change here for this one. Sorry, I'm going to change something. Sorry, I'm going back here because I thought I had to make it uniform. Okay. So you are, see what's going to happen. Even though you are videoing this, you are providing a role play evidence of this. What you are saying is simply a status report update. So you are not doing something new for this task except capturing a video confirmation. So whatever you did in 3.1, assessment task 3.1, that's what we are briefing your stakeholder with, but explaining a bit, not just reading that. Yeah. If you have like plan was 40,000, actually is 43,500, you are explaining why do you need to spend 3,500 more than you planned. You can say, oh, we planned for a contractor, but he was super busy and he didn't keep his promise. So I had to look for another supplier, and that supplier is new to us. He said, I'll give you a discount on the next order, not on this one. And that's why I had to increase my cost. But I had some buffer, so I'm not asking for more money, but I'm having something shorter in my planning. Yeah, so you're justifying your number, right? So that's your 3.2. Okay, and now this file is here. I would say 3.2 of 3. Okay. That's fine. Maximum 10 minutes. This is all good. Video recording. The meeting specifically inform Keystone Group. That's the same thing which we covered there. And this one. So there is nothing new here. Submit a video recording. Once you submit, I'll say yes. If you don't, I'll say no. This what should be captured, and what you are covering is this aspect. This is a very simple task, right? So that's your task 3.2. Before I forget, I'll just rename that file as well. I don't want it 3A. Perfect. Now the final, congratulations, you have successfully completed the project that you are planning for. However, there are a few things that need to be done, need to do to complete the work required and ensure the project has been finalized. Preparing a final report, clearly answering how well project was implemented, monitored, and finalized. Report should also identify any lesson learned could be applied to future project. This may be accomplished that should be transferred to future project, as well as strategies adopted to overcome problems that were encountered, and that should also be transferred to future project. Complete a project final report that review the project, finalize this. Simply 3.3 final report. That's the file. Okay, so let's look at the final report. Again, the gray part has to be removed. Project name. Have your project name here. Don't leave it like this. When are you reporting it? Introduction, project implementation, similar stuff, project schedule, cost, everything. Skill gaps, contingency, record keeping, use and approval of physical resources, any risk, and project monitoring part. Assessment of the management of scope, any schedule, budget, all that thing. Okay, this is all finalizing the project. The financial activity, allocation of money, final payment, checking all the requirement, finalization of other activity, project sign off, lesson learned. What did you learn from the project? You can say, oh, okay, this project really gave me good insight, and now I need to ensure for the next project that I have more than one supplier always. Why? Because the supplier I trusted really backed off to the last minute, and that's why I had to, project had some delay because I had to source another supplier. And that also increased my costs. So you can write your lesson learned in a bulleted point. Yeah, or just a few lines is fine. Risk statement. What was the risk, priority? What were the option? Avoid, retain, mitigate, or transfer. What are the details? Contingency plan. All this thing point, the owner of the risk, date entered, date review, and status. Is it open or closed? That is it. Any questions? I know there is a lot, but it's not difficult. It's just, it's a bit tricky, I would say. But I'm renaming the file as I'm going. Yeah, you just need to submit me those files. 4 files, including this one, the main file, then 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, plus the video recording. That's what I need. Any question?